Is there a way to achieve energy independence, stop global warming and drive whatever car you please? We'll examine alternative solutions available now or in the future and try to close the divide between promise and peril, innovation and inertia. We'll explore how we got to this point and see if there's a roadmap for the future. The sun sends an almost inconceivable amount of energy to us every day. Enough energy in a half hour to satisfy the planet's annual needs. Most energy that we use comes from the sun, either directly by its radiation or indirectly through energy stored in plants that have been converted into coal, oil or gas, the so-called fossil fuels. The carbon that's found in plants was transformed into fossil fuels in a process that took millions of years. When an automobile or power plant burns these fuels, the carbon, in the form of CO2 gas, is released into the atmosphere. For countless years, people and animals have expelled CO2 when they breathe, and plants absorbed most of it. This allowed plants to grow. The unabsorbed gases help to create a natural greenhouse effect in the atmosphere. The CO2 and other trace gases formed a shield around the planet, blocking excessive radiation from the sun and keeping heat from dissipating into space. Our increased use of fossil fuels creates a lot more CO2 than nature can absorb. Many believe this will compound the greenhouse effect and trap too much of the planet's heat. The result is called global warming. If scientists are right, this could have tragic consequences. The effect of global warming could trigger the melting of the polar ice caps, raising the ocean's level and inundating coastal cities like San Francisco. It could cause other havoc to our economy, our health, our farms, forests, beaches, wetlands, and other natural habitats. Global warming joins air pollution, the rising cost of gasoline, and the realization that there is a finite oil supply to the list of reasons why people are searching for alternative fuels. The automobile is singled out as a candidate for change because about 40% of daily oil consumption goes to fuel cars and trucks in the United States. This demand is expected to increase around the world. The rapid Western-style industrialization of China and India means that millions of new cars will be on the road in the next few years. There will be more competition for the same oil that the rest of the world depends on now. While we won't run out of oil in the immediate future, scarcity and a host of other concerns have made people finally think it's time to kick the petroleum habit.
Also for the generations to come.
This prompted Edouard Michelin, the chief executive of Michelin Tires, to invite the world's automakers, environmentalists, government regulators, and the media every year to his Challenge Bibendums.
What is Challenge Bibendum? Challenge Bibendum
is not a motor show. We have no short-term commercial objectives to achieve here. This is a unique event which at the same time is a competition, a forum, and a laboratory.
The Michelin Challenge Bibendum provides an opportunity to see what the future may hold. While the participants of the 2003 challenge recognized the difficulty and seriousness of their task, seeing more than 100 alternative fuel and low-emission cars, trucks and buses prompted many to believe that future vehicles could indeed be clean, safe, reliable, and fun to drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, please start your clean, green engines!
In the fall of 2003, the event was held in Sonoma, California, at the Infineon Raceway. Usually, it's home to NASCAR, NHRA drag racing, and the American Le Mans Series. This weekend brought together the world's most advanced vehicles. It allowed them to be compared in head-to-head competition.
69.5.
They were rated on emissions, acceleration, braking, handling, noise, and energy efficiency. The huge array of vehicles, including large trucks and buses, took part in the competition and related events in California's capital, Sacramento, and Sonoma's town square. Nearly every imaginable power and propulsion system was represented. Backers of hydrogen fuel cells, diesels, electrics, and hybrids all claimed they had the right answer. In 1874, Jules Verne predicted that water will one day be employed as fuel, that hydrogen and oxygen will furnish an inexhaustible source of heat and light. Many scientists and auto industry executives believe that the most promising solution could be what Jules Verne predicted: hydrogen. They envisioned creating a sustainable and environmentally friendly hydrogen economy that completely replaces petroleum and other fossil fuels. This is being pursued by automakers, oil companies, university research departments, government officials, think tanks, and environmentalists.
This is great. That's wonderful.
Much of the research focuses on developing hydrogen-powered fuel cell vehicles that generate electricity from chemical reactions between hydrogen and air. Connecting a group of fuel cells together in a stack can produce enough electricity to power an electric motor and propel a car. These emissionless vehicles have caught the imagination of many scientists. General Motors brought their high-wire fuel cell-powered concept car to show that the future was going to be fantastic.
What we're doing is we're finding solutions to environmental and energy challenges by creating automobiles that people just absolutely have to have. This is going to be an automobile that has better ride and handling because you have a lower center of gravity, and the electric drive and the by-wire controls literally allow us to envision braking, steering, and accelerating and driving each wheel independently. So the driving performance is going to be a thrill. The acceleration is going to be great because you get maximum torque instantly from electric drive.
The Highwire is a rolling laboratory designed from the ground up. Its sleek, skateboard-like chassis holds all the vehicle's propulsion, transmission, steering, and braking technology. This revolutionary design frees up the interior of the vehicle and allows designers to create a very open and spacious layout. The chassis is also very flexible and can accommodate any number of different body styles. Customers could choose several interchangeable snap-on bodies that they used, depending on their needs. This could save General Motors a lot of money by reducing the number of chassis it builds for its worldwide operations. They say reducing dependency on oil will also save consumers money.
What's nice about hydrogen is you'll get a competitive dynamic between all of these different energy streams, ranging from being able to refuel at home by electrolyzing water or reforming natural gas, and other great ideas like reforming gasoline at your filling station. Today, the industry is 98% dependent on petroleum. In the future, hydrogen will be this commodity that can come from a wide range of energy streams and can compete based on the local strengths of different countries for the transportation dollar. We think that's going to have some real benefits in terms of fuel prices and price stability and availability.
Critics point out that while this technology is promising, it's not likely to be widely available until 2015 or 2020, if ever. GM isn't the only one promoting the fuel cell option. Fuel cell backers include Chrysler, Ford, and many automakers around the world. But some engineers feel that other solutions are closer at hand, especially the use of hydrogen as a fuel in today's internal combustion engines. Ford introduced its hydrogen-powered concept car at the North American International Auto Show in 2003. The Model U was called the logical next step after the Model T. Its 2.3-liter supercharged engine is fueled with hydrogen.
It has significant benefits on the efficiency side, it has significant benefits on the fuel economy side, and it's really driving fast, and because of the combination of hydrogen-powered supercharged internal combustion engine and using the benefits of a hybrid electric technology, it offers a lot of fun for our customers.
Ford put the same type of hydrogen-powered engine in a compact Focus to get the real-world experience. They drove it thousands of miles. They found hydrogen lacks the punch that gasoline has. A supercharger added power, but the car needed a much larger fuel tank to equal the range of a conventional engine. BMW, known for the prowess of its internal combustion engines, has created a hydrogen-powered race car and a fleet of hydrogen-powered cars they're using as a rolling clean energy laboratory. Its engines are modified normal production models that burn hydrogen. No CO2 is emitted from the tailpipe, only water. BMW increases the range of its cars by using a large, highly insulated tank set behind the rear seats of the car. It's filled with liquid hydrogen, condensed by cooling it to minus 250 degrees Celsius. This big tank, full of super chilled hydrogen, provides a cruising range of over 200 miles. But even if all the power, range, and safety issues are solved, there isn't a network of neighborhood fueling stations, the infrastructure, as it's called by the experts. And there isn't a ready supply of gaseous or liquid hydrogen to use. These issues also challenge hydrogen fuel cell backers. Critics point out that for hydrogen's ecological benefits to be realized, it must be made using a renewable energy source such as solar or wind power. If the energy for the process comes from oil, coal or nuclear power, then the gains are lessened. There isn't enough hydrogen currently being made by any means. The lack of a supply, an infrastructure, and a number of technological and marketing obstacles need to be overcome before the hydrogen economy becomes a reality. Other technologies in competition at the Michelin Bibendum were promoted as being available right now. Diesel power is popular in Europe, where the price of gasoline has made fuel economy an important concern for years. It's being looked at again in the United States. Many equate diesel with buses and trucks belching black smoke, but its advocates say diesel's changed its dirty ways and delivers great fuel economy.
Well, what you're talking about is the old engines, the old technologies, and we've made significant improvements in the fuel systems. We call the common rail fuel system now, higher pressures, much more precise control through the electronics. And through all of that on the engine now, we can produce cleaner engines, so the raw emissions, what's coming out of the engine is much cleaner, the fuel economy is actually better, and all of that without sacrificing the inherent benefits that a diesel has with low-speed torque, or which for you and I means the more torque we have, the more acceleration we can get when we're driving the car.
But the lack of clean, low-sulfur diesel fuel in the US is a problem. And so are the emissions of smog-forming gases and asthma-causing particulates. But once again, a Bibendum competitor had an answer: biodiesel. It's diesel fuel that can be made from plant oil or animal fat, anything from soybeans to mustard seeds, and old French fry grease from McDonald's.
So it's an alternate fuel, requires no infrastructure. It puts the American farmer to work. It gets us off foreign oil. It reflects in a balance of payment deficit for the U.S. You know, it makes us energy independent. It's renewable, all right? The farmers can do it every year, and it's totally biodegradable. You spill it into the streams. We don't have to worry about ducks walking out full of oil.
This utopian notion seemed too good to be true, but we drove one of the cars, and it worked.
It's happening, all right? We were just ahead of the curve. You'll see the rest of the United States coming online very soon with plants everywhere. Now we've got one plant going operation, this week. We got 3 more on the planning boards. One of the other plants will be in operation by year end. So I think we're just ahead of everyone else.
Electric cars also made an appearance. While most major manufacturers have abandoned the electric car, some still feel it's the ride of the future. The distributors of the ZAP low-power electric cars brought their own cheerleaders to extol the virtues of the 25-mile-per-hour car. Its low speed and 50-mile range didn't make it a serious contender for most commuters. The scientists at AC Propulsion took a different approach with their T0. This is a fast electric-powered sports car. It boasts 0 to 60 times of 4.9 seconds on its lead-acid batteries and has a reputed range of over 100 miles. This is a limited range for many drivers, and the time it takes to recharge the batteries is another drawback to choosing electric.
Well, the way I look at it is you drive around during the day and you plug in at night, and it takes about 10 seconds to plug in, and when you come out in the morning, the car is full. So if you actually count the time spent filling up your car, you spend more time driving to the gas station, waiting around to fill out, running your card through the card reader, than you do recharging this car. If you're on a long trip, it's a different story, and electric cars aren't made for long trips, and they never will be.
Maybe there will be a place for electrics in the future, but right now the public is excited about the hybrids. These fuel-efficient cars are powered by a combination of electric and gasoline motors. It's a technology invented by Ferdinand Porsche in 1900, but only recently made commercially viable. Toyota showed off its award-winning Prius hybrid. As gas prices soar, the car's 44 mile per gallon average fuel consumption looks better and better. While the savings at the pump won't immediately offset the additional cost of buying a hybrid, more and more people are considering the option. Toyota has had to increase production targets every year to meet demand. While Toyota stole the Bibendum show with the Prius, Ford had its hybrid SUV waiting in the wings. It was a hit with passers-by when it was spotted on the back lot of Sony Studios, where Ford was introducing it to the media several months later.
It's very nice. It's got good lines to it. And still big enough for a family.
It's about 35 miles to the gallon.
35, huh? I'm getting about 12 right now.
Ford uses the system patented by Toyota to power the Escape hybrid. A rechargeable battery supplies power to an electric motor, while a four-cylinder gasoline engine runs only when necessary. The system chooses the best power method, gas, electric, or both. It's only the beginning.
I think what you're seeing is this is just the beginning of some really great things from hybrid technologies, and as we evolve and mature the technologies associated with alternative fuels, hydrogen, fuel cells. I mean, this is a great first step, and this isn't isolated. The technologies, the systems, the hardware, the architectures that we're using in the hybrid, we put them into our fuel cell. We're putting them into our hydrogen ICE programs. So this is a real stepping stone for us as we move towards the hydrogen economy.
Ford and Toyota have chosen to build so-called full hybrids that allow either electric or gasoline power to take over. The Escape can drive with pure electric power at speeds up to 25 miles per hour. This helps it achieve 35 to 40 miles per gallon in non-highway driving. Even off-roaders can be fuel efficient, and it never has to be plugged in. Energy from the brakes recharges the battery. This green power is about 15% more expensive than a comparable Escape with a standard engine. But doing something for the environment is important to some, like Ford's chairman.
We're putting our money and our effort into something that's going to make a big difference, not only for customers, but for society. It's an investment in our future, and I think it's a darn good one.
The Bibendum wrapped up with awards being handed out to nearly all the entrants. The consensus was that no single choice or path was the silver bullet to mobility nirvana. Each had its pluses and minuses. It was clear we're decades away from the hydrogen economy, but there are choices people can make right now, including driving more fuel-efficient cars like hybrids. Some suggested we should all jump on electric bicycles and skateboards, or fuel cell and hybrid-powered buses. However enticing that seems, individual mobility is likely to remain the norm. And it looks like the future may just bring more and better environmentally friendly and fun cars that will allow us to continue to enjoy the open road without guilt.